Now is our time to rise up, my Isekai trash men. Now is our time for our representation. You know what? For many years, for all these years, we needed to play second fiddle of being part of the fantasy category. But now we have our own category, guys. We have won. We are so back with Isekai, man. We are so back. This is our year. This is our year. And looking at these nominations, what can you say about Best Isekai? You know, because I think that not just for fantasy, we got absolutely spoiled for Isekai shows this year. This selection is really, really good. Some of the most decorated Isekai coming out in the previous year. But I think this category was always going to be between the two heavy hitters, Mushoku Tensei and Re:Zero, which to me are not just the best Isekai of last year. These are the two heavyweights that I think are just the best, my top two Isekai of all time. These are just my top two Isekai of all time, and they both ended up airing within a single year. Both of these have their own selling points. It's really, really hard, because before, all right, I'm going to tell you guys a change in opinion. Right? Because before, I was the Mushoku Tensei simp. I was the biggest Mushoku Tensei defender, and I still think it's an absolutely amazing isekai. And there were parts of Re:Zero that I just didn't vibe with, and part of that was Natsuki Subaru's character, where I didn't fully... I'll come out and say it. I didn't fully understand Natsuki Subaru, or... not understand. I didn't fully connect. That's the right word. I didn't fully connect with Natsuki Subaru as a character. And there was a big turning point, actually. And it was meeting the author of Re:Zero himself. I've said this story before. And meeting the author of Re:Zero himself and just seeing his unbridled energy and enthusiasm. It wasn't like I met the author, therefore my opinion of Re:Zero must change because now I've met the author. Meeting the author and just feeling his energy. I will never be able to put into words what his energy is. Feeling his energy, feeling his unbridled enthusiasm, and just the fact that his energy was so infectious. It like made me feel better. If he had aura, yes, that's kind of what I'm saying. He definitely had aura. Because I felt his aura. It's the first time I've experienced anything like this, where I felt the kind of person this author was. And just by meeting him, feeling his aura, feeling his energy, I was like, I get it. I get Subaru. I get Natsuki Subaru. I get what he's trying to say with the character. I understand why he's written the way he is and why he has the character arc that he does. Just seeing the amount that Subaru goes through and the character that he ends up in season 3 and the character development that he gets in season 2, it just added that extra little piece for me to like fully see the picture. And it made me appreciate Subaru way more as a character, because Mushoku Tensei and Re:Zero is the tale of two protagonists. While I think, in my opinion, Rudy is, to me, my opinion, a more interesting character just because he is just so sometimes uncomfortably realistic, and seeing his character development and seeing his character progress, development is a strong word, seeing his progress up and down as a person, up and down as a person, as a viewer is very, very interesting. But Subaru is the character you want to cheer for. Subaru is the character that you respect for no matter what happens to him, no matter how many bad things happen, he stands up and he fights and he finds a way to sort himself out. And so it very much comes down to, do I want to pick a character I want to cheer for, or do I want to pick a character that, from a story perspective, I find incredibly interesting? And that's the big thing that I've been debating over in this last year about which one is my favorite isekai. In this particular instance, in this particular season, I actually think it's Re:Zero. I actually think it's Re:Zero. I think Re:Zero tops it for both of these seasons. And the biggest reason for that is, I think, for singular best episodes, Mushoku Tensei has the singular best episode that aired between these two, because the Father's Day episode, absolutely fantastic. And the reason ReZero gets this one is, I think, that seeing Subaru's development, seeing Subaru's journey as a knight, not just as some random person that got transported to another world, you can see a lot of the payoff of Subaru's character that has been building up from season 1 and season 2. And Subaru, even though this wasn't the action-packed season, Subaru really steps up this season. And seeing his, without spoiling, seeing his moments in the latter half of season 3 was a magical experience. And I really, really enjoyed that. On the opposite end, Mushoku Tensei, in terms of execution, I think, in terms of purely executions, had some things with the final 2 episodes, had some executions that just left a little bit of a bitter aftertaste in my mouth. It hasn't changed the way I viewed the entire series, but in terms of pure execution, it left a little bit of an aftertaste in my mouth, and I was just like, ooh, okay. For the first time, I wasn't really happy with that. Maybe it needed a few more episodes to really flesh out these major character moments that you guys are presenting me with, to the point where I'm like, ooh, I really enjoyed it, but that I wasn't sure. I didn't really enjoy that. So that is why, for this year, ReZero gets the dub for me. That was a very long segment. That was a very long yapping segment. But, of course, it's the Isekai segment that is the longest bit. But, yeah, right now, in terms of my favorite Isekai, ReZero and Mushoku Tensei are like neck and neck. I love them both for different reasons, but they are basically neck and neck for me. And you know what? Mushoku Tensei fan, ReZero fans, can we not just... Come on, guys, come on. We have 2 fantastic shows, guys. Come on.